So living language Mandarin Chinese versus integrated Chinese, which is the best Chinese book for you? I'm about to tell you, and who am I? Well, I'm just a certified Chinese teacher, been living in China for 11 years. My name's Kwadwo, I'm the creator of Elementary Chinese, and I want to help you make effective Chinese progress over and over and over again so you can achieve your goal. Now, these two books do differ based on if you are going to study textbook style or self-study by yourself. And when I say study textbook style, integrated Chinese is best if you have already a language exchange partner or a tutor. You can get a tutor on italki.com, or you can get a language exchange partner on HelloTalk or Tandem. Links to those places are in the descriptions below. And this one, well, you can self-study by yourself. Let's break down the differences between each. You will see that the differences are great, and hopefully by the end of this video, you will understand which book is the best fit for you. So like I said, both books are for self-study folk, except for with integrated Chinese, the answers to exercises are not inside the book like they are with living language Mandarin Chinese. So for integrated Chinese, you absolutely will need a tutor or language exchange partner. That has its pros and its cons, but at least you will go through and also learn at the same time to interact with someone. I consider that a pro. The con? You do need someone to interact with. Audio CDs are inside of living language Mandarin Chinese, whereas for integrated Chinese, the audio is online. The answers, again, are in the back of living language Chinese or underneath exercises, whereas the answers for integrated Chinese, they're very protected. Why though? It's because integrated Chinese is used highly across high schools and universities here in the USA. And when they're using those books, they don't want their students cheating. Basically, imagine if the answers were let out into the public, all those wonderful high schoolers would be acing their super hard Chinese exams, and the college students, well, we'd all be fluent. So the answers are protected. You can't get access to them unless you have teacher credentials. So you're gonna need a language exchange partner. Presentation in living language Mandarin Chinese is a bit dry, but wow, look at these pretty pictures inside of integrated Chinese. For me, this book piques my interest. And speaking of piquing my interest, the exercises in living language Mandarin, they're mainly straightforward. Fill in the blank, translate this English to Chinese, put in a character, connect the Chinese word, draw a line between the Chinese word and its corresponding English counterpart. Oh, here's some pinyin. You need to write the right character into the blank. It's just kind of boring. Whereas integrated Chinese has those kind of exercises too, also in separate workbooks, but they focus more on communication. So integrated Chinese is aligned to the ACTFL standards, and ACTFL stands for the American Council on Teaching of Foreign Languages. And what's cool here is the exercises inside of integrated Chinese are focused on communication. 3 modes of communication are interpretive, interpersonal, and presentational. Presenting information versus interacting with and negotiating meaning in a spoken, signed, or written way versus being able to understand what you hear. And because of that focus, the exercises in integrated Chinese are much more useful for communication in everyday life versus living language Chinese. While you can learn the grammar through more traditional kinds of exercises, you have to bridge the gap yourself between book use and real life. So also, integrated Chinese has these visual supplementary modules in every chapter that serve as good conversation discussion points that you can do with your language exchange partner or tutor. Take a look at these. They're really high color. Get Real Chinese is like real life contextual learning straight out of China. And then Chinese Chat focuses on Chinese in a digital environment. And these How About You sections, students are encouraged to personalize their vocabulary and study and learn words and phrases related to their own background. 这个周末你想做什么? What would you like to do this weekend? Interesting. Or on page 249, 你喜欢什么颜色? And then you talk about your favorite color. Also, you can see right here on page 249, the characterize it portions are in every chapter, and they force you, they teach you to start looking at characters for radicals and components. Another big difference between these two books is price. Living Language Mandarin Chinese at the time I'm recording this video in August of 2020 is $29 on Amazon.com. Link in the descriptions below if you want to see the updated price. But wow, $29, what do you get for that? Let me show you. So you actually get a novice, intermediate, and advanced volume inside of this one Living Language Mandarin Chinese for $29.99. You also have the audio CDs here for each level, and you have a character guide. Let's look inside that character guide really quickly just to see what's in there. Yep, it looks like it's teaching you the radicals, the basic character strokes, and it gives you a little bit of character writing practice, but it's doing a lot of explaining of the character components, so that's pretty cool. Integrated Chinese costs, like, at least today, $61-ish on Amazon.com. Unfortunately, that is not for all four of these books together. That is for just one of these books. However, through going through the books, it looks like 1.5 of these books, maybe 2 of these books, volume 1 and volume 2, are actually equal in content to everything that you found here. And of course, for the reasons I already said in this video, we're going a lot more in depth here with connections to real life. And as a Chinese teacher, somebody who's helped people for now 3 years on Instagram and here on YouTube and coaching virtually, people pay me to learn how to learn Chinese, okay? You want to build connections from what you're studying to real life quickly. Well, because communication happens in real life. And actually, if you don't know how to make progress, you're lost, you're frustrated, you're not sure where to start, you need help learning, and you want to make effective, consistent progress over and over again, hitting your goals, head down to the descriptions below. I run a community, especially for folks here in the US and Canada because of the time zone, but it's a community online called DIY Chinese Community where I help you go from this confused state all the way to you're able to study consistently on your own, day after day after day, and hit goal after goal after goal. If that's something that would help you and you want more information, head down to the descriptions below. You'll see the wait list. You'll be able to get on that wait list, get more information, and you'll know as soon as you have a chance to join. Yeah, it depends on what kind of quality you want. Both books are quality, but they're obviously focused on a different kind of learner. I mean, you got this one for say $30, and you got 2 of these books, which is gonna run you $120. However, these books, you absolutely must have a tutor in addition to these books, or a language exchange partner who can teach, because the answers to the questions aren't there. So here's what I say. If you just want to go the cheap route to get your feet wet, well then you're going to pick up Living Language Mandarin. If you know that you're serious and you want to go the extra mile, especially because you want to create more of those bridges between what you're studying and the real world and communication, then go ahead and invest in integrated Chinese. If you're getting them from Amazon, you can look through them, and Amazon has a decent return policy. Keep that in mind, but commit to yourself. Don't just get something and think you're going to return it. Follow through. And remember, I personally think that you should, if you can afford it, take the money and invest in quality. Why? Because if you do something the cheaper way, it might not necessarily get you the results you're wanting. And then that means you have to go back to time and take more time to go through and study again. And you can't get your time back. Your time is very valuable. So I say invest the right way, do something correctly the right time so that you can keep making more and more progress. Follow me? And you don't have to waste more time, which time is money, to go back and redo things. Hope this helps you. Tap or click the screen right there if you want to see a couple overviews of Living Language Mandarin Chinese and Integrated Chinese. But otherwise, hope to see you inside of the DIY Chinese community. Link is in the descriptions below. I can help you out tons there. Goodbye.